what happens when you want the attributes of both of these fine guns? Well, Alakazisto. This is what we get. Yep, this was before the big run of tactical lever action that started coming out about 2020. So let's talk about Desert Boy here. So, in that last video I did, I had the, these are the same, where we had the 9mm and the 45 in that case, 45 Colt, and how, there was a lot of similarities and maybe just having one handgun ammo round, for both your sidearm and your long gun. And I talked a bit about that. But what if you kind of wanted some of the attributes of both of those? Well, back about the time of the pandemic, or just before it, before Henry introduced their X-Series rifle, and then I think Marlin came out at that time. I think they were made by Remington, I can't remember, but before they started coming out with all those zombie rifles, as I call them, I kind of wanted to do that myself. And so I happened to pick up this nice Henry. Isn't that a nice looking gun? Don't you like that? Isn't that a beautiful firearm? Nice Henry 357 large loop lever, brass 357/38 carbine. Now it holds 7 rounds, 7 plus 1 I suppose, but 7. And it's a tube feed, okay? Oops, there's a lever coming down. That's okay because we're going to show you that it's empty. The side ejector, it's empty. This one does not have a side gate loader though, because remember this was before the time of the X models or the side gate ones. That'd probably be the only thing I would really desire for it if I ever was to replace it, would be to replace it with a side gate one, and I'd just turn this one back into a straight regular everyday iron sights kind of gun, or maybe put a hunting scope on it. But so at the time of the pandemic, I really didn't have any other than my handguns. I didn't have any semiotic. Well, I did have at that time I had a 1022, but other than that, I had no semi-automatic rifles. And so the current political climate of the time and gun laws that were getting passed and everything, I didn't know if I wanted to get an AR or something like that. And that was before I got my CZ Scorpion, which actually I ended up buying as a result of all that, because I realized, well, sooner or later I may need something that has semi-automatic capability, just from my perspective. These are my own thoughts, thinking about it. And I did look and, sometimes like I had my Howa 1500, you've seen that where it has magazines. That was an upgrade. But anyway, so after taking those kind of measures, I said, well, I had bought this. I said, well, what could I do to make this a little more modern, right? So I went out and I ordered a pick rail from Henry, and I put the Picatinny rail on there. And of course, I can't use my iron sights with that on there. And I ended up having to get a different riser because it's just the riser adjustment. And these are UTGs, if I remember right. And this here is a UTG scope, but this is just a basic. You seen these first with Mix Up 98. You always seemed like you had a nice little TRS-25 Bushnell red dot, and that was the first red dot that I got. And then I decided, maybe I want some magnification on here, and this actually goes goes off to the side, where you can flip it over out of the way if you so desire. So you don't have to use that. You can just use the red dot by itself. This is a 3x magnifier that I decided, maybe I'd like to have a 3x magnifier on there for my getting older eyes. So I came up with this setup, and I also used this. I put a pick rail on my 4570 and used this combination on there a little bit, just to kind of test it out. But, what I was looking for was a practical home defense gun that I had, I could repeat the rounds. 357 or 38 gives me a selection of a stronger and a weaker cartridge, and 38 plus P, of course. It is a tube fed, so it's not going to be quite as fast to reload, although you could put a round in from the side, a single one, and chamber it. But so I was looking for something more for home defense. This is only 35 inches long. Now it is 7.76 pounds, so it's pretty heavy. But I think you can see this is it's got the nice octagon barrel. It's just pretty heavy. It's got the brass bands. It's got all that cool stuff like that. And it's got this large loop lever, which being up here now in the north where you might be wearing gloves, that could be kind of handy. So this was my solution for home protection somewhat during the pandemic. I wanted to have some magnification so I could see a little better, maybe, if I needed to. I wanted to have a red dot to make it more modern. And I found this to be very accurate. I think it shot pretty good, especially out to 25 and then out to 50 yards. And, with, like I said, with 357 and 38 plus P, that gives you a variety of cartridges you could put in there. Because at the time I lived in a multi-family dwelling, and I wasn't sure I wanted to have 357 Magnum, for obvious reasons, So sometimes you have to adapt. Shortly thereafter, they started coming out with the X series, and then they came out with the ones that Marlin had because they had all the zombie shows that were on, The Walking Dead and all that, more revolvers and lever actions kind of enjoyed a resurgence. But I really do enjoy this gun. It's a very nice looking gun, pretty heavy, but shoots very well. And for my purposes, it works, So that was what I did. So just something to share with you about a firearm I enjoy. Plus, once again, because I do have 357 and 38 sidearms, once again, it's the idea of the one caliber for a long gun and a handgun. And some people don't agree with that, but I happen to think that's not a bad thing. So Sri Desert Boy always says, be safe out there, whatever you're doing. And if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye now.